Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Tuesday afternoon. I hope we're all okay. I hope we're all right. I hope we're having a good day. I hope having all a much drier day than I am here. It's raining, it's miserable, and it's a bit naff. But yes. Anyway, in this video though, we are talking a little bit around Jacob Ramsey and the situation there. Obviously the last couple of weeks of what the situation was with Spurs' interest. We're going to be talking about Sergio Reguilon and apparent lack of interest in the player from other clubs. We're going to be talking about Eberechi Eze and conflicting reports around Man City's interest in him. We're going to be talking about Ivan Toney and kind of how clubs see the value in him and what that value looks like. Just a bit of a general chit chat as well. Just want to say this though, if you're watching this and you are new, give subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And if you weren't aware, we always do lives at 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. unless obviously stated otherwise. If things were to be happening and get in the way. Morning, Van Gogh, mate. Didn't Eze say that you want to stay in London? Well, we'll see about that. I'll tell you in a minute. Afternoon, Camagoon, mate. Afternoon, Dan. Afternoon, Spurs. Afternoon, Adiz. Well, we'll be talking about all that stuff, Adiz. Don't worry, mate. Afternoon, John. How are we all? I hope you're doing even better than myself, John. Okay. Afternoon, Alez. Afternoon, Martin. As well. Looks like we got some cracking people in the chat this morning. So, yes. Afternoon, Daniel. How are you, my friend? How are you? Dull, wet, and miserable here too, Annie. And that's just some of the people. I rate it, John. I rate it. Well, we've got some pretty upbeat, I guess you could say, in a good way, dry and less miserable people in this live chat, though, which is the nice thing. So let's jump in. Let's talk. And by the way, guys, if people are to be joining late and, they miss on a few things, if they do ask what have I missed, you're more than welcome to tell them what they have missed. I'd appreciate the support and help on that. All right. So anyway, let's jump in with Jacob Ramsey. So it came out yesterday from Sky Sports saying that Spurs are still exploring the deal to sign Jacob Ramsey. Still talking about Giovanni Lo Celso going in the deal towards Aston Villa as well as money. Obviously, the chat was 20 million plus Lo Celso. That was potentially rejected. We've got conflicting reports. That maybe Spurs hadn't made a bid. Maybe Spurs made a bid a few weeks ago. But there are reports that Spurs are keen on Jacob Ramsey. Now, Jacob Ramsey, I think, splits opinion for a few different reasons. I think some people say that look at his injuries last season. We're trading one injury-issued player with another injury-issued player, which I think is a bit harsh, but I get where people are coming from on that. When we talk about wanting to support our situation with the homegrown situation, this is an opportunity to aid that position. Obviously, people talk about Ivan Toney and Eberechi Eze and players like that helping the homegrown situation. Jacob Ramsey obviously is part of that list that can do that. What does the deal truly look like? Now, the deal obviously would be Spurs paying. Let's say the whole deal was totaled 40 million. So the idea is you would give Aston Villa 40 million. They would give you 15 million for Giovanni Lo Celso. So the deal is 25 million plus Lo Celso. But, just because of financial fair play and things like that, Villa are going to want to maximize that money. And they'd rather give you 15 million that they can spread over 5 years. So it helps their financial fair play situation. That's the way the deals work normally nowadays. I always kind of put it out there, if it was going to be 25 million plus Lo Celso, what would everyone think? Would everyone be happy with that? Would everyone be annoyed with that? What's the vibe? And, tell me in the chat, what's the vibe you're thinking? If I was to say it's 25 million plus 15 million, what's the thought and vibes? Afternoon, Cozy. How are you, mate? Not a lot's happening so far. I've only just started. Hey, Peter, how's the day been? I hope you're probably just about to start work. So, Peter, I hope this shift goes well for you, bud. What did I miss? Terrible. You just started. I don't want Ramsey. Fair enough. Afternoon. Hope that you're good, Andy. Sonia, I'm better that you're here now. How about that? Jacob Ramsey plus. So, Tom, do you mean 35 million to 40 million is the whole deal, or is that plus Lo Celso for Jacob Ramsey, which would make the deal about 55 million? Hello, Donna. How are you? I'd rather keep Lo Celso and let him run his contract out. Oh, Martin, that's a rogue shout. It's not the money. We need players that can play. Ramsey is another wild card. I get that. Ramsey's a little bit younger, maybe not the marquee name that we were thinking. So fair enough. Evening. Ramsey would be good. Adventurous. Fair play. Fair play. How are you, mate? You're right. Availability is the best ability. Neither Gio or Ramsey seem to have it. Fair enough, Daryl. Fair enough. I'm not excited about Ramsey, to be honest. Night off, Peter. Good man. Good man. Ramsey to Spurs. Lo Celso to Villa. We give 30 to 40 million. Or definitely not 40 million, because that makes the deal about 55, Tom. And I don't mind Ramsey. I think Ramsey's a decent player, but I don't think he's 55 million pounds worth. You know what I mean? I think we chatted about 20 plus Lo Celso, which makes probably the deal about 35 million. For me, 25 million plus Lo Celso, it's not too bad. The max I'd go is 30 plus Lo Celso. That's the max that I would do. Absolute max. If the deal's starting to reach 50 million and above in total value, we're not getting a good deal, in my opinion. As much as I think Jacob Ramsey could be a really good player, Villa would understand the situation where Spurs come from and go, look, he's not our homegrown player. He's your homegrown player. And he also missed a lot of time last season. Emery supposedly a big fan of Ramsey. How big a fan is he? Because he's quite a big fan of Lo Celso, and how big a fan of Lo Celso is he? So those are key things that you need to take into this. I don't mind Ramsey, honestly. Well, fair play. I don't think that we are cheaping out again for Ramsey over Eze or Doué. Well, technically, Ramsey might end up being more expensive than a Doué, Martin. That's the vibe there, potentially. So there is that on one Jacob Ramsey. Right, moving somewhat on to talk about some other players. Let's talk about Giovanni Celso. It's on my screen first and foremost. So this came from The Athletic. So if you don't know who The Athletic are, again, those are the publications that Jack Pitbrook, David Ornstein, some pretty good reporters work for. God, English is failing me there. They said that there has been limited interest in Sergio Reguilon so far this summer. Now, I didn't actually try and find this, but I just want to have a look at just want to have a look. Right. So supposedly, they reckon Sergio Reguilon earns about 78,000 roughly per week at Spurs. So give or take a few quid either side. Let's not hold it to exactly a figure, but it's around 80,000. That's a key thing. Obviously, he's, when you sign a contract, you want your money, don't you? Whenever you play Football Manager now, it's like, well, this player's owed this much on their loyalty bonus. They want that money. Hence why Weston McKennie didn't leave Juventus, because Juventus didn't want to pay him his loyalty bonus or whatever it was. And he did. He wanted that money, which I get why it was harder to move him. Lads, I said it before, Andrew will bring in what he needs. Exactly, Peter. When I look at this situation, yes, he was decent at Brentford. His Man United loan spell was a bit hit and miss. There was some good, there was some bad with it. He's an all right defender. He is all right. That's probably the way I would sum it up. I'm not blown away by Sergio Reguilon personally. He will give you a flash where you think, oh, he's a player, and then you go, wait for it, and then he shows you what is more the mean, the usual performance. So it's difficult to move on a player from that sort of wage. I just think, I was saying 10 million. Maybe it's tougher to get 10 million now, Maybe this is a deal that will run way into the latter parts of this summer transfer window. Not going to lie, Ramsey was at his best with Coutinho. Villa should take Gio to unlock Ramsey. Well, they might buy Gio. You never know. If Ange wants Ramsey, then let's go for him. Exactly. Terrible, Donna. Bellingham. Which one? No chance. I think no chance is what Riley said. Sorry, not what I said. I think Jonathan David's 25 million to 30 million will be in and around that. Yeah. What does Ramsey offer that we don't have? Spend the cash in areas we need. Striker and Eze are really amazing winger. Well, look, we still need a body in the midfield. we still do. Hence why Gallagher's still linked with us. Hence why Fofana and Onana and Matt Sweefer before he went to Brighton, all these players are linked with us. Even after Archie Gray, there's still chatter about still needing a midfielder. Hey, Camagoo, mate, you're right. Again, Donna, terrible. Eze, Toney, and Marcus Edwards. Marcus Edwards has been a bit quiet, the reporting on him. I don't want Neto just because of being injured all the time. Also, too much money. Well, that's fair enough. Job, you mean Job Bellingham, Les? You can't have Jude you can't have Jude and Job mixed together. That's not how it works. You got a Jube Bellingham. Ramsey and Eze, completely different players. It's Ramsey. It's not Ramsey or Eze. It's Ramsey and Eze. Yeah, they're not the same players. They're not the same players. Oh, Jaden Philogene is going to be moving to Ipswich by the looks of things. Fantastic, fascinating. Good move for Ipswich, by the way. I like that move. Ipswich have been smart so far this window. They've been at it as well. Fair play to them. Wait for someone to go. Well, if they're doing it, why can't we do it? What do you like about Tottenham? Yun Lee. I mean, it's my club. That's why I like them. I love and hate them at the same time. And that's what your football club is all about, loving and hating them. Jesus, Donna. Tony Ramsey and Bakayoko, all we need right now. Oladipo. Wow. Let me try and get his name. Oladipo Akintenye. What a name, mate. Can I just say, shout out, what a name that is. And if I've butchered that, I really am sorry. I did try. It's like with anyone's name. If I say it wrong, please do try and correct me. Doesn't mean I won't continue to say it wrong, and you'll have to continue saying what it is. But what a name, mate. Well, Tony will talk about Ramsey. Yeah, Bakayoko, not today. Won't be talking about him in this video. Tony or David, striker, Nano, Edison, and Eze, centre mid. Tom, you're setting the bar high there, mate. What's happening with Hudson-Odoi? Nothing, Riley. I still think we need a midfielder with strong defensive ability. Fair enough. You come from Nigeria. Well, you're my first watcher from Nigeria, my friend. So shout out, my friend. Shout out. Do we need another centre midfield? I'm not sure. Shouldn't we wait until sell Højbjerg and actually buy a 6? I don't think we need Ramsey. Yeah, we do still need a midfielder. Yeah, we do. Just look at the injuries, Also, what happens with Skippy? That's another key thing to think about in this situation. Erase my socials, screenshot kind of thing. Okay, we can settle in FaceTime. Where's this song? I don't. Wait. No, I do know that song. It's in my playlist. No, it's in my playlist. I've got that song. Hang on. Wait. Bear with me. Sorry, this is a bit poor of me. I will find it. It's in one of my gym playlists. Erase Cautious Clay. I think that's what it is, Marshall. Erase Cautious Clay. There you go. Look at that. You come here for Spurs chat. You get told what to find on Spotify. Kyrie, what did I miss? So, anyone in the chat, tell Sun Knight what they've missed. You know the rules. Philogene and Greaves are great signs of Ipswich. Yeah, I'm liking that. Would you accept sponsors on your channel? What do you mean, Christian? Eze and Ramsey, that's all the budget. Who's going to score? That chances we create need to ration the money. Well, we'll be talking about striker in just a second. Tony's been looked at by Chelsea now. Who's Tony not been looked at, I think we signed Boris Johnson. God, what a doofus he is. Will Basuma be sold? Well, I doubt it. Spurs would have to take quite a big offer on Basuma. I think Basuma has a better year. Second year of Ange system, I think yeah. I think he will be still here. I think we need a better right winger. Well, that's why Neto's been linked. Van Gogh, you've got a job for me, mate. I've got a job for you. Can you tell Sun Knight what they've missed? That's your job. I think there is no need to sell Reguilon. I think he's a good player. Ange needs to give him a chance to prove himself. Look, Camagoo, you might rate him. I personally disagree. I've seen Reguilon let us down way too many times, and I'd rather just sell him and I'd rather Dorgu at left back. I'd rather a youngster at left back personally. who's got an upside. To think Reguilon is what he is. He's a all right left back, and you know, I'd probably rather Ben Davies, to be honest. FIFA 20. Well, I told you, Marshall. I was right, wasn't I? That's pretty good of me. Terrible, Donna. Yeah, Kari doesn't say hi, just straight to the point. Yeah, no, he's just comes in there and just goes bang. You know, that's his way of saying hello, and that's why I laugh at it every time he says it. I know he doesn't mean it maliciously, by the way. And if anyone does think he means what he says about Brendan Johnson maliciously, he doesn't mean it maliciously. It's a running joke that we have on this channel. All right. I feel like Bakayoko has more potential than Neto. I think maybe, but what I would say is at least Neto is Prem proven. That's one thing Bakayoko doesn't have. So you have to sort of take that one in there. Sponsors question, protein brands like NordVPN. Well, look, Christian, if it makes sense, it makes sense for sponsorship on the channel, but we're a little bit off that yet. I'm still waiting for my summer fruit squash sponsorship. Honestly, by the way, when that day hits, by the way, we get a summer fruit squash sponsorship, it's going to be electric. You're all going to be there sitting there going, we were there. We were there when he was hustling. You were there when he was trying to get it. I've seen on TikTok, apparently Frimpong to Liverpool's confirmed. I've not seen anything on that personally. And he's still at the Euros, so I would say we're a little while off. What's your favourite FIFA song? Mine is Marshall. I've got too many that I love, mate. Too many for me to spend time on. Reggie has to go. Man United twerking for Man United. He's twerking for Man United. Yeah, absolutely. Let him go. See ya. Pay the 40 for Vanderson. I don't think they'll be going for right back just yet. Hey, mate, any Eze update and Toney? Well, we're actually coming to them in just a second. Thanks for the job, My Majesty. I'm just going to knight you. There you go. Knight you like that. Well, Sunday, I'd watch it. You know, if you've missed anything, watch it after the video. Listen to all this, and then at the end, watch the start. You know. Terrible, Donna. Vic, Adogi, Romero, and Porro weren't Prem proven. Look at them now. That's true. No, that's true. I'm not denying that. I mean, one thing I would say is Romero was also the best defender in the Serie A, so you knew he was going to be good. You know, Vic, Adogi, and Porro, a little bit less proven, but at least Romero was like he's going to be bloody good. Let's be honest. And Romero is bloody good. Right, moving on. Let's talk Eze. Come on, let's get involved now because I want to talk about Toney afterwards. We're talking about Eze now. Where did I have it? There it is. So Matt Hughes put out yesterday that Spurs were willing to trigger the release clause, right? He also said that Manchester City are willing to trigger the release clause, right? So I think a lot of people were sitting there going, "Oh, that's this, that's that, that's the other." And I get why people were a little bit annoyed because, I talked about Manchester City having interest in Eze before. I don't think it's any different to what we've already spoken about on here. Just want to bring it up. See if I can find it. Yeah. The Athletic, though, have said that Manchester City are not currently planning a move for Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze. So, look, I think they like him. I think they like Dani Olmo. I think they like a few players, Man City. But I think, like a lot of teams, they're just waiting for international football to finish, look at the lay of the land, and then go from there. And I think Eze is a prime example of that. Talented, but let's just wait till he finishes international football. So I think this is another one that's going to be running on for another couple of weeks, if I'm honest. Don't think we're going to have updates on it very much or very often. Wait till after Wednesday. Let's see. Well, tomorrow, sorry. Let's see what happens with the Holland-England game. Thursday onwards, we might have more of an idea. And if England go through, then I'd say wait till Monday following onwards, because obviously that's the final is on the Sunday, which, forgot to say, second channel, we're doing a live watch along tonight for the France-Spain game. So if you do want to come along and watch, I know a few of the lovely people in this chat would obviously be there. So it was a good watch the first time around. I'll put it in the chat, the second channel. Please do subscribe and put your bell notification on for it. And I've pinned it in the chat. We'll be doing the live watch along for the game later. Obviously, do the 7 p.m. stream like we normally do anyway, all right? Yeah, there's a second channel. Like, stream, subscribe, everyone. Kamagoo, my guy. Kamagoo, my guy. Morning, Jamaican Hotspurs. How are you, mate? Will Eze play as much for Man City, though? They rotate brilliantly, Kate. Good morning from South Africa. Whoa, South Carolina, sorry. Morning, Joe. He would get minutes, Riley. He would get minutes. Do you think Ange will overtake Poch's legacy in a couple of years? Well, if Ange wins one trophy, he has a better legacy than Poch. So, yeah. Oh, there's Naturalini. Hello, mate. How are you? What's your second channel name? There is Yunli. There is. Click on the link. If both clubs go in for him, it might be game time versus guaranteed success. We might end up like Calvin Phillips. Well, there's maybe. NA Duo news. Not really today, mate. Will you do a watch long today? Yeah, there you go, Van Gogh, mate. Watch long today, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. We're going to be chatting the French-Spain game, obviously analysing it ahead of potentially England's next game. You know, you never know. And I'm going to try and fix cameras and get some stuff up on that channel this week. I forgot to do it yesterday. I was even this morning mucking around with flights, planning a flight to Spain for September. So mucking around with that, you know. Man City already have a truckload of world-class players. Eze game time could be a factor if we want him. There's that. Well, also, he wants to stay close to home. England is that. Not England is that, sorry. London is that. The other thing is, though, Man City are going to pay him a hell of a lot more money. There's that. There's the other thing there. Subscribe. Thank you very much, Riley. Thank you, Yun Lee, as well, both for subscribing. Thank you, everyone that has subscribed on that second channel. It's a very new channel. We've only done one video on it so far. I'm late. What have I missed? Robert. Van Gogh. Van Gogh, if you're still here, mate, can you just tell Robert what he's missed? That's Van Gogh's job, Robert. It's not being me even rude. Don't worry. This United, Donny needs to be blocked. He's harmless. Naturally, he's harmless, mate. I don't mind him. He's not being rude. Imagine signing for Man City, then possibly getting kicked out of the Premier League over the pending charges. Well, there is that, to be fair. I reckon penalties 4-3. To who, Riley? I subscribe to the second channel. Thank you very much, Yunli. I appreciate that. Do we have any left-footed midfielders or number 8s? Giovanni Lo Celso. You could say Kulusevski, potentially. So there's that. So there's that on, you think, Spain, Riley. Well, Riley, join me in the watch along for 8 p.m. and we'll be chatting about the game then. But, you know, I think I want to just wait and see what the Spanish team looks like. They've got some suspensions to worry about today, so I want to see what their team looks like. They should have taken Pedro Porro because he'd be bloody hell starting tonight because Carvajal's not playing. I know that. Anyway, Ivan Toney. It's on my phone. It's a different one. I've got to move over here. And I've just seen I've got a million WhatsApps to deal with afterwards. So there's that. Sorry, I do have a small Douay update for everyone. I will just tell you it now before I talk about Ivan Toney. The Douay one is that at the moment, still nothing has been clarified about the future of Desiree Douay. The situation will become more clear in the coming weeks, is what Fabrizio Romano said. So there you go. Nice quick one. In and out. And moving on. Bryce, where most of the Euro games have gone into overtime, I ruin my schedule every time. Yeah, I missed a whole meal last time. And for a gym guy, missing a meal is quite important, you know. Did anyone see Elise's Bayern promo video? I didn't. Is it a good one, Finn? Navas up against Mbappe will be funny. Yeah, I think Fabian and Rodri are going to be busy tonight on that front. Spain haven't got... it's always annoying that that's in the way. I can't read the rest of your comment just yet, Riley, but I'll get to it in a second. Yeah, well, I'll tell you my thoughts and feelings about the game later. I will make sure. Got the GOAT. Haven't got the GOAT, Jesus Christ. Yeah, sorry, there you go, Riley. I got it now. Yeah, they haven't got Pedro. What do you expect? This tournament will be over if they go to Pedro, you know? Let's be honest, France would be an easier game in the final if England get there. Spain would embarrass England. Well, do you know what? Spain might even suit England a bit more. So England can just counter-attack. That's what they want. That's all they really want in England is counter-attacking ability, you know? But I think France would be a better game for us. Lamine Yamal is so good. He's all right, isn't he? He's not too bad. What about Dele Alli? Dele Alli's free right now. Maybe possibly can train. Well, he may train with Spurs, but let's be honest. For me, I've always been quite clear on this. If he can help us, fine. And he has to offer us and make us better. If he doesn't, it's not something that I want to sit there and be like, oh, just bring him home. It's good vibes, you know? I'm here to win. Can't we agree a fee for Eze? Then if we go to the finals, he can come. Well, Adiz, it's it's more of a thing on Eze. You want to make sure you go through Eze's side, make sure he wants the move, make sure he was keen on it, blah, blah, blah. Then you go speak to Palace. You know, that's normally the vibe. Ali's past his prime tracker. What have you gone through so far? Well, I don't think Van Gogh's here to tell people what I've gone through so far, so I'm gonna have to do it for him. He's got one job, and he's not even here for it. So what I've talked about is the lack of interest in Sergio Reguilon. I've also talked about Eberechi Eze and conflicting reports that Man City want to trigger his release clause, but also they're not planning to trigger his release clause through the Athletic. I've talked about potentially making another move for Jacob Ramsey, still using Giovanni Celso within that deal. And Desiree Doué, nothing's new on Desiree Doué. That's the so far, for anyone that has missed anything. But I recommend at the end of this video, quickly rewatch the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, just so you get a bit more of an update in a bit more detail. You don't think a Prime Dele Alli fits into Ange's system? Prime Dele Alli genuinely was one of the best youngsters football seen in the last sort of 10 years. His stats are better than Bellingham's, and look at Bellingham. I think we would have fitted him in easily. He probably would have. Do you know what? You talk about players playing false nines. Dele Alli would have been that, but I think he would have played the 8 and bomb box to box. He may not have got as many. He might not have as many goal contributions, but he still would have been fantastic. Those are the days. It'd be nice for a charity preseason thing, but at the end of the day, the club is still competitive and the players are employees. What do you mean, Finn? Let's go England. They're going to win the Euros. I love it, Yunli. Love it. Neto. Not sure about that one. We should be looking elsewhere for that price. Well, you know, I'm sure Spurs still are. Anyway, let's talk about Ivan Toney. So Laurie Whitwell, who I think works for the Manchester Evening News, is a very much in the know person when it comes to Man United. You know, the toxicity around Man United and the players leaking information. Laurie Whitwell, I think, is one of those that does receive info. He was talking about Man United, and he was talking about Joshua Zirkzee moving there, and he said that the Joshua Zirkzee arrival does not rule out another centre forward joining, such as Ivan Toney or Calvert-Lewin, but sales will be required. He went on to say that for Toney, some people believe Brentford may accept a fee close to 40 million. 40. I don't think they'll take 40 million. I don't. For me, I think Ivan Toney be closer to 50, 60 in that realm, personally. Look, if he's 40 million, I think most Spurs fans would go, yeah, let's do it. But I just don't see it. Maybe it's 40 million plus add-ons. Maybe that's where they go with it. But for me, you know, I don't see him being 40 million. I don't know what you guys think about that side of things, but I don't see it being 40 million whatsoever. I would reckon one of either Reguilon or Davies has to go. Well, Reguilon will be the one most likely. Davies offers more versatility. Don't be surprised if Ange gives him a go. Dele was great at times, but he used to frustrate me constantly with losing the ball. Well, he was young, Martin. Martin, I'd say about Bergvall, Donnelly, Gray, any other of our youngsters, they're going to lose the ball. Just learn to love the process with them, you know. Regarding Dele, can't pay for wages for sake of nostalgia. Absolutely. Keep Daddy Davies. I love this whole Daddy Davies thing. It's hilarious. Why aren't we going for Johan Bakayoko? Wait, like I said, I talked yesterday, grieving about him. I talked about him yesterday, mate. Sorry. Why is Spurs paying 40 million for Ramsey and only get 50 million of Celso when they're both as good as each other? Or keep the Celso and spend the 40 million on someone else? Edward, couple of reasons. Lo Celso, 1 year left on his deal, more injury prone, not English. That's why. Didn't we get a 40 million bid rejected for Toney? No. Anything on Eze, big dog? Well, last for Obama, mate, you missed it because I talked about him. I've already talked about him. Just subscribe. Semyon Tatum. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much. Welcome along for the journey. How are you? Ivan Toney is going to be better at Tottenham. Maddison will have two choices in attack now to Son and Ivan Toney. Well, even with our wingers, you could say the same thing. And yeah, shout out Semyon Tatum. Anyone that has subscribed, shout out to you. You got to let me know when you do so I can shout you out. But yeah, welcome to you, my friend. Hey, what's up, my friend? How you doing? I'm good, my friend. I'm good. I hope you're all right. Mate. Yeah, and there you go. Welcome Semyon's kicking off in the chat. Good, I love it. I work overnight in hospital. Well, lust for Obama, mate. For you, normally Van Gogh would be here to help me, but he's decided to sack in his job. I'll have to do it for myself. The Eze one was, I talked about you last night. The Spurs were willing to trigger the release clause from Matt Hughes. And today, the Athletic have said that Man City aren't planning to make a bid for him just at this moment. There you go. Son keeping the number 7. Yeah, absolutely. 32 years old. And he looks, I'm 28 and he looks 28 and I look 42. It's impressive how Sonny does it. I need his skincare routine. Could we go for Brahim Diaz? Could we? Maybe. Will we? No. And I don't think Real Madrid want to let him go. He was useful last season for him. Hello from Kazakhstan. Hello from England. I'm good. Just waiting for Eze good news. Well, there's somewhat good news today. Not a lot to it, but we have to wait till he's finished up with his international commitments. We have a team full of models. Yeah, there is a whole thing going around with Spurs players being models. You know, Bergvals and Gios, Sonny's, Bissouma, all of them. I'm starting to see a world where Richarlison can be sold. Toney comes in and we backfill with our youth strikers. I would not like that world, Robert. Personally, I would want Ivan Toney and Richie. That's my vibe. I want both of them. And if you get bet and get thousands of views per live stream, are you going to answer all the live chats? Kamagu, it might be a bit difficult if they speed through. I would try my best, but it might be a bit difficult, mate. I would... I'd probably have to have a separate stream on my phone so I can scroll up and have a look at them all. Probably, it might be a bit difficult, but you know me, man. I'll always try and get to your comments. You might have to repeat it 2 or 3 times, but I'll try and get there. Van der Ven's a good shout, Finn. Van der Ven's a good shout. Korean moisturizer. Well, whatever it is, I need it. Sonny's picture with the teddy bear is my little screen. Nice, Riley. Nice. Do you like Jimenez or Toney? I take both of them. No, look, either one will help us. It gives us more depth. It gives us more ability to rotate. And then, things got dicey and, both were injured. You still got Sonny. You still have a young striker to come in there as well, which I saw Scarlett was training with Dele Alli, which was a nice little touch. I did see that. I think people will get shocked by the physicality of Graham Bergvall. I tell you could, by the way, in Grieven, I saw some still shots of pre-season. Obviously, we kicked off yesterday. And I saw Bergvall and I was like, you can tell in these screenshots that he's balling out. He's been impressing, by the way. That's what's come out. He's been impressing. People hit the likes. Appreciate that for Obama. You're doing Kamagu's job. He's going to be upset with you in a minute. Jimenez wastes chances. Well, so do all strikers, technically. We should buy Osman. I think that's how you spell it. That's how you spell it. And we won't be doing that. It'll cost way too much money. So there's that. So look, really good video. Obviously, we talked about Ivan Toney potential valuation, the lack of interest in Sergio Reguilon. We talked about Eberechi Eze. Conflicting reports that Man City are willing to trigger his release clause. At the same time, they're not planning to make a move. We also talked about Jacob Ramsey and Spurs making a new move for Jacob Ramsey. We also talked about the fact we're doing a live watch along on the second channel, which is pinned in chat. So if you haven't already subscribed, do subscribe to that second channel and join us for the 8 p.m. kickoff today between France and Spain. We'll also still be back at 7 o'clock, by the way. Don't worry, we'll still be back at 7 o'clock doing a video. Maybe you can practice playing football and play for Spurs. I'd like to see you play for Spurs. It's going to be so cool. Yun Lee, I'm 28. I'm way past the ability to ever play for Spurs. Maybe a friendly charity game. Maybe I'll do that. I'm also probably about 5 stone too heavy to play for Spurs. Ange likes a pender. So do I, Kate. I think if Bergvall's decision-making and final passes improve, he'll be a superstar. Well, give him time. He's still young. Did anyone think Toney's arrogance with a penalty may be showing a player that we should stay away from? No. Cozy, I think actually the opposite. I think people loved his confidence. It's something that football sometimes lacks, is a bit of confidence. And I loved it. It was a brilliant penalty, He basically told the keeper where he was going, and he was like, I'm still going to go there, by the way. You will not save this. It was perfect. I'd rather get a pender than Toney. Well, I really like Toney because he's playing in the Premier League. Well, there's that. Prem proven. You could be an Adama Traore. I think I probably weigh a little bit more than Adama Traore. That's how much I weigh. He's a bit more ripped than I am, but I'd say I'm a lot stronger. Toney's penalty was cold. I tell you what, I was in the pub when Cole Palmer scored. I was like, I'm chilly. I was pretty drunk at the time, to be honest. Toney changed my mind. He plays like Kane. Well, yeah. I mean, also, he's a physical beast. And defenders don't either want to... physical defenders want to play against someone who's a little bit slower, maybe not as physical, or they want to play against someone that isn't as wild and tricky and things like that. And, he is an issue. And people won't be able to handle that, So there is that. So thank you all very much for joining. I'm going to be trying to sort out some camera. I'm going to try and sort out some stuff for the second channel today. Maybe record some gameplay of some stuff. But yeah, please subscribe to the second channel. Back at 7 p.m. anyway, to talk a little bit more Spurs with you all. Thank you all so much for joining for me. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons, Peter. Enjoy your night off, mate. And for the rest of you, I'll see you all in a few hours' time at 7 o'clock. Take care, everyone. See you later.